Hey everyone, April Juleson here from apriljulson.com. Today we are learning about why we hold on to the pain and the hurt and the anguish and what we can do about it, okay? And guys, this is really important, okay? Super important here because it gives you the freedom from the pain that you've been reliving, okay? So if you feel like you've been holding on to a lot of pain or hurt, you know somebody else who needs to see this, please share and we'll get started. Hello, hi. Okay, so today we are talking about why we hold on to the pain and the hurt, those anguishy feelings that we just absolutely hate, right? Nobody likes them, and what we can do about it, okay? So, pain sucks, right? I mean, it hurts and it just makes us feel like crap and we just don't like it, right? So why in the world do we keep holding on to the pain? You know, we know it, and you know, people hurt us, right? People in our life. It could be coworkers or loved ones. It could be a bully online, right? Like all these people, they hurt us and we just hold on to it. Okay, and that is a choice. So I am going to get to that today. So we hold on to this pain and we relive it. We tell others about it. We are like, oh my gosh, do you know what so-and-so did? They did this. This is kind of what's going on. And then we go and we call another friend and we tell them. And then we call another friend and we tell them. And it becomes like this little interwoven story into our life. And like all of a sudden everybody knows about it, right? And why do we do that? Right? Why do we do that? Why do we keep reliving the pain? If we don't like the way pain feels, you know, nobody does. Nobody really likes how emotional pain feels. So why do we do that? Okay. So what I want to tell you is that, oh, thank you. Yeah. So many people are hurting and it just, you know, it stings and we don't need to hurt. Okay. So, we do this and we're holding on to this pain and we're talking about it and we're just like, you know, wallowing in the pain. And what it's really about, okay, what it's really about is being right. Okay, that can be a little hard to hear, so I'm going to say it again for you. When we hold on to the pain, when we keep reliving it, we keep, you know, holding on to all of it, it's about being right. It's not about the pain. It's not about the other person. It's not about what happened. It's about being right. Okay? So I'm going to relate this to one of my stories so that you can understand this a little deeper. Okay? So, growing up, right, I had an emotionally abusive dad. And he, you know, he wore me down, right, and affected my self-worth. He was very ragey and anger and just... you know, you punch walls, right? Like all these things that he would do. And, you know, as a child, it's very traumatic for all those things. Even as an adult, it's traumatic, right? So here I had this emotional pain from my childhood and I carried it with me my whole life. Now, a lot of people didn't know that that's what I was growing up with, okay? My friends didn't know. I didn't really talk about it. You know, everybody just thought my life was perfect, okay? And then as I got older, I started to see how those things affected me, right? I started to see that I was picking relationships with men that would kind of act like him so that I would try to control it. And I knew that was from childhood. You can't control what happens in your childhood. So I was reliving this pain and I was constantly stressing out and trying to be perfect because I thought, you know what, if I'm perfect, maybe he'll show up and he'll be nice to me, right? I thought something was inherently wrong with me because he didn't like me, and how could you not like your own child, right? So, you know, in hindsight, now as an adult, I know that it was nothing about me. It was everything about him, and he did his absolute best, okay? That's fine. However, when I started to become a young adult, I knew that a lot of the things that I did were stemming from that, right? And I was holding on to it for dear life. Like, I was holding on to that emotional pain. Like, this happened to me. This happened to me. And, you know, this was a crappy situation and I didn't like it and I didn't choose it. And, you know, this all happened to me. It all happened to me. It all happened to me. Okay. So I would tell people, and then I would tell some more people about my past. Okay. Now, why was I doing that? Okay. Why is it that I was holding that pain and sharing with others? It was because I needed to be right about something. Okay. What did I need to be right about? Well, partially I needed the validation. Okay. I needed somebody to say, wow, April, that is insane. I can't believe that he did those things. What a jerk, right? I wanted somebody to validate that for me and to be like, April, you know what? This isn't about you. This is about him. And you are perfect just as you are. And he shouldn't have treated you that way. So I was looking for validation. I was looking to vent my feelings because I had stuffed them. I had no idea what to do with these like feelings when I was younger, right? I had no idea what to do with them. So what I would do is I would stuff them down because I didn't know what else to do. And, you know, when you're a kid, it's like, you know, your parents will be like, oh, don't cry, right? Or something like that. Like anything that you could do, like they don't understand the severity of this stuff either. Okay. So looking to vent my feelings, looking for validation. I wanted support. I wanted somebody to hear me. But it really was for me a lot about validating the experience, validating, you know, I see people do this to validate the decisions that they made. Okay. Maybe they made a decision and it wasn't, like they're questioning whether it's the right decision. And so they start telling their story to get that validation about what it is that they, you know, just decided on. Okay. It puts us in this place of feeling like a victim. It puts us like we're, you know, like I'm not at fault, right? I don't want to be at fault at this. I don't want to have caused this. Okay. So all of these things, I wanted to be right about my experience. I wanted somebody to say, April, you know what? That was a really crappy experience. And that stinks. And you did not deserve that. Like that's what I needed to hear. And it was about being right. Okay, so holding on to all that pain, reliving it, doing all of these things was all about being right, being validated. Okay, so I encourage you to look at this in your life and what is it that you see, you know, as far as your pain. Are you holding on to hurt from somebody else because you feel like you need to be right about something? You know, this could be a relationship, okay? Maybe somebody treated you really badly and you're like, I really just need somebody to say, you know what, you did your best, you didn't cause this, and you need to be right. And the thing is once you know what you need to hear, okay, once you know what you need to hear, you can tell yourself. You don't need anybody else's validation, just you. You need your own understanding of this situation. Now, this is not about tarnishing somebody's name or you know, like I was never trying to do that with my dad. I just needed that validation. But validation comes from within. Okay. That's between you and your divine self. You know, you lived your experience, right? There's two sides to every story. And today I know that, you know, my validation comes from within. I lived my experience and nobody else could know 100% what my experience was like. And the same for him, right? My dad did his best job that he could. And it wasn't enough for a small child, okay? And it is very traumatic for a small child, but that doesn't change my experience, okay? And I can tell you my story today because it's not emotionally charged, because I've let go of the hurt feelings. I've processed the old emotions. I've been able to, you know, kind of move through and be like, you know what? He has his own divine self, right? He is his own divine being, and it has nothing to do with me, right? That's his experience. He had his stuff, but making my story just a story, right? That was act one of life. That was the childhood that I didn't get to pick, which, you know, kind of in the grand scheme, we do get to pick our childhood for our own lessons, but that's okay, right? Like you can't pick your parents. You can't pick what's going to happen in this human form. All we can do is move past it, right? So, you know, I just know that if you're holding on to the pain, you can let it go, okay? What you need to find out is what you need from it, You know, you don't need to hurt. It doesn't need to be painful all the time. You just got to figure out what you need. What is it that you need? If you called me today and you're like, April, this is going on, what would you want to hear from me? Because you can tell yourself that, right? Figure out what you want to be right about. Is it your decision? Is it your experience? Do you want that validated? Do you want to feel like a victim? Do you want to feel like you didn't create this, right? That you're not at fault? What is it that you need to hear? And give yourself that, because you don't need that from anybody else. And the longer that you take the time to tell everybody about what's going on, and so did this, and this is what I'm feeling, and this is how I'm hurting, the more you do that, the longer you're going to stay stuck there. So if you don't want to be in pain, figure out what you want to be right about, and then give yourself that. Okay? So I hope you have an amazing day. My name is April Juleson. I'm an empowerment coach and energy healer. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook. My website is apriljuleson.com. Follow me if you want more stuff like this. All right? I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be here again tomorrow. Bye.